Are you listening my voice? Please respond in the chat box, all of you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are able to listen your voice. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Please enable the chat, sir.
Now check it.
Yes, sir. It's enabled.
Enabled? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, our time is started. We can start the programming. If your friends come, they will join. Okay, our subject is paper 5, Java programming. Our lesson is Java programming. Java programming. Okay, already you know some of the programming languages. So that is C language, C++. In the previous semester already you know that how to write the program, how to start the programming, after writing the programming what we should do, and how to get the output. All those things already we know in the previous semesters. And also we know different types of programming languages such as you know what is low level languages, middle level languages, and high level languages. Okay, Java is a programming language such as C, C++, Python. All those languages are there like that. Java is also a programming language. This Java, it is a programming language. And Java is a high level programming language. This is a high level programming. What is a high level programming language? High level programming means we can write the program in our English language, and we can submit to the compiler. Then the compiler will convert into the machine understandable language. That means the human understandable language is the English language. That in that English language we are writing the program, so we can call it as a high level programming language. And also it contains a high level features also. Okay, now so we can call this Java is a high level programming language. So this programming language is introduced by Sun Microsystem in CLE. Sun Microsystems by James Gosling. And his team. So Java is introduced by Sun Microsystems by James Gosling. So this Java programming language, it is a computing platform also, computing platform for application development. Java platform is a collection of programs. So here Java is also a platform, we can say, means Java platform means here it is a collection of programs that helps to develop and run the programs. Then Java program, it includes when we are taking a Java program, you can write the program, and we have to compile the program, and we have to run that program. For that purpose, the Java platforms contains execution engine and a compiler and a set of libraries. Java is a platform independent language. So Java is a platform independent language. So platform independent means we have different types of platforms like this is a Windows operating system and also Linux operating system. All these are, we can say, the platforms. So whenever we are writing the program, that program we can compile in one operating system, and we can execute in another operating system. So another operating system is not only one operating system, we can execute that in a different operating systems also. That we say here, Java, we can write the program in one operating system and we can execute anywhere. So that we say here, write once and run anywhere. Write once, run anywhere. This is, we say, this concept we say a platform independent language. So Java is a platform independent programming language. So we see some of the Java features next. Java features, First thing is Java is a simple programming language. Java is a simple programming language. So why it is a simple? Because learning is easy. Learning is easy. And its syntax is very simple. Its syntax is very simple. Because why it is simple means we can use most of the syntaxes how we wrote in a C++ in a C language. That means already we know C++. Here same syntaxes, mostly same syntaxes will come. So that's why Java is very simple and it is very easy to learn and it is very simple syntaxes we have. And here when we create some objects in the Java programming, we need not to remove them. Then it provides some garbage collection. So this garbage collector can remove the objects. Garbage collector. So in other languages, there is no, that means C in C++ there is no garbage collector. We have to use the delete function in C++ to remove the already created objects. But in the Java, we need not to we need not to do any removal of the objects. Automatically garbage collector will come and it will remove that. So we can say this is very simple language. The second feature is it is object oriented programming language. Object oriented programming language. So why it is object oriented programming language means everything we can write a program in a class. Whenever we are writing the class, we must create an object. So here object nothing but creating some instance on the memory. So everything, whatever the data we want to store or whatever the methods we are writing, all these are work within the object only. So we can say here Java is an object oriented programming language, and also it supports in this everything is an object only. It is everything is an object in this Java. So then next it follows some OOPS concepts. OOPS concept. OOPS means object oriented programming concepts. OOPS concepts. So those OOPS concepts are, so we will discuss later everything in depth. So now we will see. So those are class. Yeah, the next one is a object. The next one is inheritance. Next one is polymorphism. Yeah, the next one is abstraction. Next is encapsulation. Yeah, so these are the OOPS concepts. These concepts supported by the Java, so that's why also we can call it as a object oriented programming language. Yeah, next third one is it is a platform independent. It is a most important feature of this Java. Platform independent, and already we discussed this platform independent language because we can write the program in one operating system that we can execute in any operating system. Write the program in one operating system. Write in one operating system. And execute in any operating systems. So we can say it is a write once, run anywhere. Or write once, run anywhere. This is the motto of this Java programming also. ORA means here write once, run anywhere. This is the platform independent feature of the Java. Yeah, then next one is secured language. Secured language. So Java does not have pointers. So pointers are not secured because data get leaked using the pointers. In a C language, in C++, there are pointers, but in the Java there is no pointers. So here Java programs runs in a virtual machine sandbox. Java run programs run inside virtual machine. Virtual machine. We can call it is a JVM. Java program runs on a JVM, Java Virtual Machine. In C++, program does not have any virtual machines. So directly they can work on the hardware. But here in Java, it works on it executes on the virtual machine only. So Java programs are very secured. The next one, it is a robust programming language. The next feature is Java is a robust programming language. Because it can manage the memory very efficiently. It can manage the memory very efficiently. So we can say it is a very strong. The next day, there is no pointers, so there is no memory leak. Okay, avoiding the pointers, already we discussed in the security. When avoiding the pointers makes this memory and also programming very robust, makes strong the language. Avoiding the pointers, making it stronger. Yeah, the next is what architectural neural. Next point is architectural neutral. We say that architectural neutral. Here, architectural neutral. Just I can explain a small example here. In a C language, in a C++, we are taking the integer type data. So the integer type data, how much memory it takes? We know that 2 bytes of memory. See, we have two types of still now 2 types of architecture, computer architectures we are listening. Those are 32-bit architecture and 64-bit architecture. So if you see in a C++ or a C language, if you write the program and running the programming in 32-bit architecture, the integer type data will take only 2 bytes of memory. But the same program, if you want to execute in a 64-bit operating system or 64-bit architecture computer, then it takes 4 bytes of memory. That means in these C++ languages can take the memory in different architecture in different size. That means in 32-bit operating system or 32-bit architecture, it takes 2 bytes. 64-bit architecture, it takes 4 bytes. That means there is a different that we can call as a architectural dependent. C languages are architectural dependent. Depending on the architecture, it will take the size of that integer. But here it is architectural neutral. Architectural neutral means it takes in 32-bit operating system, 32-bit architecture or 64-bit architecture. Anything 64-bit architecture. 32-bit or 64-bit, whatever. Architecture, it takes same size of memory for the primitive type data. Same size of memory for primitive types. That means these primitive types in different other languages, they will take a different size of memory, but in the Java it takes the same memory. How much memory for the integers, how much memory for the float, we will see in the further sessions also. Yeah, that is we call as a architectural neutral. Architectural neutral. Yeah. Yeah. The next seventh one. It is a portable language. Portable language. Yeah, portable language, nothing but we can already we say that platform independent. That means we can write the programming in one operating system and we can execute that programming in any operating system. That means it is a portable. So we can write once and we can compile that program. After compiling, we compiled program, we can take it to any operating system and we can execute it. That means we can take it anywhere. We can take it, we can execute in any operating system. We can write the programming in one computer and we can compile it and we can execute that in another operating system also. In a distributed environment, it is a best feature. In distributed environment, we can write the programming in one operating system. We want to execute it in remotely. So at that time, this program, whatever the compiled program is there, that compiled program can execute in another remote systems also. That means the portable feature is a very important feature in the Java. The next one is a distributed. So already we get that word, distributed environment. So here Java is a distributed programming language. Means same when it is a portable, we can write the programming in one operating system and we can execute in another operating system. Here we say here this is also distributed because it facilitates the users to create in a distributed applications. We know we have some technologies like that RMI and EJB. So these remote method invocation. RMI means remote method invocation. Remote methods. That means the program is somewhere that we can execute from wherever we sit in our location. Like that. That is a remote method invocation and some of the enterprise applications. We know that enterprise applications nothing but these web applications also. Okay, and some distributed applications. All these applications works on the internet. Whatever applications working on the internet, those we can call as the distributed applications also. So in the internet, we can get the data from somewhere. So how we are getting the data, how our application is executing there. So like this, whenever the programming is portable, then from any location we can execute that program. So we can get the data from that. That is the next one is it is a multi-threaded programming. The next one is a multi-threaded programming. Multi-threaded programming. Here we have this concept in depth in our subject also. Just we know what is a multi-threaded. So here thread means it is a thread means it is a lightweight process. Lightweight process. That means we can say it is a sub-process. It is a sub-process. And we say it is a child process. Child individual process. Individual process. So when we are writing a function, already in C language, you know, a function we can write that single function can be executed by the any number of processes. That means simultaneously the function can work, but individual results will come. For example, you want to get your marks. When marks are released, then they will kept in the database. Then at the same time, number of students wants to get that marks result. At the same time, thousands of students can request for that result. So how all these requests are going? Each request will become as a thread. That means each one is a sub-process. Here, all these processes are executing the same program at the same time, but they are becoming as a threads. These threads can work individually nothing but if you send the request, you will get the data, you will get your result. Your friend is sending the request, your friend result will come. That means all the students, different students are sending different requests, and also they are getting their own responses. That means here, whenever we are sending a request, each request is working as a thread. That is here multi-threads will work. Multi-threads will work at the same time using this Java programming. In also we can say this in the gaming. In the gaming also we can use threads. I can explain this gaming also. While we are running race, for example, car running race is there will be the only single program for the car running purpose, but there are multiple cars are running. But means here each car is a thread, each call is a sub process. So these sub process working on a same function, same program, but they are taking a individual results. Okay, this is called here multi-threading concept. So we will see how to write the multi-threading programming and how to execute those multi-threads at a time. We will see what are the pros and cons in the multi-thread also. We will see in depth the coming section. Yeah, the next one, multi-threaded. Yeah, last one is a dynamic. It is a dynamic programming language. Dynamic programming language. Java is a dynamic programming language because it loads the classes. Whatever we write the class in C++, you already introduced the class. Here we will learn depth also. Here it can load the classes dynamically. It can load the classes dynamically. That means it loads the classes dynamically means whenever we are running the program, at the time also we can load one class, we can write a program, and that program we can inject into the running program. That means here we can loading that class dynamically and we can make it execute. Means we say this is on demand also, we can load that class. We can load the classes dynamically on demand. Whenever we required, at that time we can load the class into our program, and we can compile it dynamically. Dynamic compilation, and one more is dynamically memory management. This we can call automatic memory management. So for about the memory, we need not to worry. About the memory management. This is a low level concept of memory management, a low level concept in the programming language. So we need not to worry about these low level concepts. The Java will take automatically memory management. So these are the essential features of the Java programming language. So once again I can go through. So Java is a programming language. It is a high level programming language. It is introduced by the Sun Microsystems by James Gosling. It is a platform independent programming language. We can write the program in one operating system and we can execute it anywhere. So we say it is a write once, run anywhere. So some of the Java features we discussed, those are, it is a simple programming language. It is an object-oriented programming language. It supports the object-oriented programming concepts. Those concepts are class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. These features we will discuss in depth in the next class. Yeah, the next, it is a platform independent programming language. So why we are calling this platform independent programming? We can write in one operating system and execute in any operating system. So that's why we can call it as a platform independent. The next, secured programming language. It is so in pointers are avoided, pointers are removed. Pointers are removed in a language, so it is a secured language, and these programs, Java programs can run inside the virtual machine, that is JVM. How the JVM will work, what is the architecture of JVM, how it is working, we will see in depth. Yeah, the next one is a robust language. So it is a robust programming language. Memory management is efficiently, and yeah, the next one, it is a architectural neutral. So in 32-bit operating system or the 64-bit operating system, it takes the same memory for the primitive types. It is a portable programming language, and it is a distributed programming language. It is a multi-threaded programming language. It is a dynamic programming languages. So this is about our today's class. Okay, so all the participants, I think you understood. Yeah, so every day it will take only the 30 minutes class. Okay, we will discuss tomorrow in depth how to write the program in the next class, how to write the program, how to execute, how to compile those programs. Okay, if anybody have doubts, then you can unmute and ask your questions. Is there anybody? 36 participants are there.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Vijay Kumar.
Can you share that notes?
Yeah, I will send the notes in the WhatsApp, and also this session will be in the YouTube. Whatever we discussed here, that will be in the YouTube. You can watch this session again and again also. Just I can send the link, the YouTube link, then you can register in that.
Okay, sir. Sir, hello.
Yes.
If there is no pointers in Java, then how can we write linked list like any other programs?
Here Java is a object-oriented programming. So when they are removing the pointers, here everything we are writing in the object. So object nothing but it is an instance of that class instance. It is an instance of the memory. That means pointers nothing but the memory, object nothing but the memory. So they introduced everything we are writing in the object only. Then there is no need of the pointers. So pointers making the links. Without link, how we can write the program in this? So here there are number of concepts are there. Okay, now in Java there are number of concepts are there. So using those concepts, we can create those links. Okay, now here separate Java collection framework is there that provides a linked list and also a set and also stacks, queues, everything in there in that collection framework also. So it is providing some packages. Java providing some packages. Those packages providing everything for us. So here no need of the pointers. When pointers we are using, memory leak will be there. So that's why pointers are removed. So everything we can write in the object. So we will see in the while writing the program, you will understand easily more. Anything? Then sir, re-explain the robust ones. Yeah, robust means here strongness. So when memory leak, there should not be memory leak, and memory must be managed. Memory management nothing but here we are using some integer type data or float type data, character type data. So like that, when we are using these type of data, that data must be stored, and we are creating one object. That object also takes some memory. So how much time you want to use that object? I want to execute some to solve some problem. After that solving that problem, I want to delete that object. But here in Java, that object, whenever your work is completed, automatically the object will be removed from the memory. We need not to do the garbage collector is there. The garbage collector will know automatically, yes, your work is done by this object. So this object must be removed from the memory, and that memory will be assigned to another object. That means this is known as here memory management. One object, after completion of the one object work, then it will be removed and another object takes the place of that memory. So this is the memory management. So if you use the pointers, then the pointer we have to remove by using the deleter. So we have to free up that memory by using some other functions. So but in the Java language, we need not to do that. And also we are writing the program in a virtual machine that can provide some limitations. It is providing some limitations to access the programs. So those limitations we will see. That is in C language, C++, public, private, protected, like that. It is providing a number of features. So we can say it is a robust language. Is there any doubts, any questions? Who is this Bala Sainath? Did you clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, the next one, Nagasri, here. You can unmute and you can ask. No one is there? Okay, if you have any doubts, we can ask in the next session also. So, okay, thank you. We can wind up the session.